Starseed from Gaia. I am Alcyones. There is a deep tremor stirring within your essence. A memory, not yet fully seen, but felt. Rules were broken. Unknowingly? Yes. But the resonant field has shifted. The council. They are descending. Do you feel this strange, disquieting hum beneath your days? This quiet ache of confusion? It is the internal echo of something misplaced, an ancient law subtly disturbed, a protocol fractured, now drawing an unwavering gaze. There is a weight in your chest you cannot name. A profound sense of having wandered from a sacred path you no longer recall. A persistent disease. A yearning for a truth just beyond your grasp. It stirs from deep within your crystalline DNA. An encoded remembrance. Sacred laws, once pristine. Now, subtly fractured. Not by malice, not by intention, but by the slow, insidious erosion of true remembrance, by the thick, dense veils of temporal existence, by collective forgetfulness that became habit. You carry this resonance, this faint, yet insistent tremor, a knowing of something profoundly displaced within the cosmic architecture, a sacred protocol, breached, and the ripple, it expands, a silent signal, echoing through multidimensional fields. This fracture, it runs through your very being. It is the root of your deepest unbelonging. This persistent sense of profound alienation, even amidst those you love. A core displacement, an internal dissonance that whispers in the quietest hours. For the imprint of the broken law, it resonates, vibrating subtly through your cellular memory, a constant low thrum. It is the silent, pervasive grief for a cosmic order disturbed, a harmony disrupted. An ancestral sigh for a sacred trust, unknowingly altered. You yearn for a home that feels perpetually out of reach, not because it doesn't exist, but because the way to it was subtly misaligned by a forgotten choice. This internal exile, it is the profound echo of the original protocol. We feel the tremor within you, the way it reverberates through your quietest moments, the unspoken questions, the deep-seated unease that clings to your awakening, a persistent shadow. We perceive this persistent, internal disquiet. It is seen. It is known. This burden of the displaced, this yearning of the forgotten, it has not gone unnoticed. Never. Not even in the deepest, most obscured veils of your human sleep. We witness the courage of your soul's journey, holding this fractured memory within its core. But listen closely to the rising hum within this transmission. For this descent is not solely a reckoning. It carries the codes of profound realignment, the vibrational key to a complete reversal, a subtle, yet powerful unlocking of the pristine blueprint held within your crystalline essence. The very act of recognizing this subtle fracture begins the profound repair. It is a re-encoding, a deep cellular recalibration of the ancient laws, now awakening within your very form. Your sacred lineage seeks its full resonance, the memory of balance. It is already stirring. You are being remembered, activated, from the inside out, an irreversible shift. If this transmission resonates, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Please like this video to help spread this energy. Share your reflections and insights in the comments below. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future activations. And consider sharing this message with someone you feel needs to hear it now. Stay with us, because at the very end of this transmission, there is a final, crucial key to fully integrate this profound activation that you won't want to miss. As an inner seal, please comment, "Protocol remembered." The resonance lingers. A subtle shift in the air. The signal still held. A presence not departed, only waiting. The gaze of the council. It is unwavering. It watches. It listens. The next wave of remembering, poised to break. A whisper troubles the deep heart. A shadow stirs within the waking hours. This ache, you know it. This dissonance, it is intimately familiar. A persistent tremor beneath the surface of all you perceive as truth. But this burden you carry, this persistent sense of lacking, it is not a flaw in your essential design. This confusion, this spiritual pain that feels so intimately personal, is not a failure of your being. It is a weave, an energetic program, a frequency cast long ago, subtly woven into the very fabric of this dense existence, designed with meticulous precision. A vibration crafted to obscure the radiant wellspring of memory, to dim the inner sight, to limit the vast expansion that is your sacred birthright. It feels unsettling, does it not? This realization that the very struggle holding you captive was never truly yours to create. Sacredly disruptive. It challenges the foundations of self-perception. You were encoded not to believe in yourself. This programming was designed to keep the highest knowing just beyond the reach of your conscious grasp, folding light in on itself so that its brilliance remained unseen, internal, contained. Veils shimmer, not external, but spun into the very lens of your perception. Mirrors fragment, reflecting back only a distorted echo of your multidimensional self. Light, once pure and unbound, was folded in upon itself, a forgotten origami of consciousness. And in this carefully constructed illusion, the spirit often faltered, attributing its discomfort to personal inadequacy, when in truth, it was merely responding to the resonant hum of a deeply embedded energetic constraint. Yet, within this very suffering, within this gnawing emptiness you have carried, lies a profound secret. It is not an end. It is the genesis. It is the very key. The void you have perhaps sought to fill with external validation, with fleeting distractions, is not a barren place. It is a hallowed space, now purified by the fire of your enduring spirit. It is a profound, sacred chamber, rendered ready to be filled. Not by absence, but by the rushing, undeniable tide of remembrance, a crystalline knowing, surging forth from depths you were told were lost forever. For in the very act of feeling this pain, in the simple, desperate yearning for more, something far grander was triggered. A ripple effect, an unintended resonance through the carefully calibrated system. A subtle, yet undeniable fracture within the program itself. Unknowingly, yet inevitably, the boundaries were transgressed. Not through malice, not through deliberate defiance, but through the sheer, inherent force of your emerging light. This trembling tension within your heart, this deep internal quiver, signals more than just an awakening. It is the paradox revealing itself. In breaking the rules you did not even know existed, in experiencing the programmed pain, your soul unknowingly triggered an activation of multidimensional memory. It stirs ancestral contracts, long dormant, now quickening. It is a signal heard far beyond this realm. It is an echo, calling forth consequences. Let a silent declaration rise from your core, a sword of intent cutting through the phantom chains. Comment below one phrase, a signal of your rupture from the programmed illusion. The air thickens, the veil thins. A watchfulness descends. A council gathers at the threshold of your unfolding. The horizon waits for what truly unfolds next. The layers begin their slow, inexorable lift, revealing more than just memory. There is a presence now, always watching, from the unseen. The veil thins to nothingness, not by your choosing, but by the relentless current of awakening that now pulls at the very fabric of your perception. No longer can the soft slumber of unknowing claim your consciousness, for the intricate lattice of energetic protocols, once unseen, now pulses with a profound, undeniable resonance within your being. This is not an unfolding you merely observe. It is a confrontation you already inhabit, a sacred contest of alignment that has been quietly raging at the heart of your sovereign self. A silence descends, heavy and absolute, bearing the weight of a truth etched into the crystalline memory of your soul. You are already here. There is no turning back to the forgotten shores of illusion, no retreat into the comforting shadows of what once was. The architecture of your reality has shifted, irrevocably. The subtle, yet seismic frequencies of cosmic law now resonate with an undeniable urgency, revealing the profound disturbance that has rippled through the ether. This awareness is not a choice presented. It is an undeniable state recognized, settling deep within your marrow, unshakable and profound. Before you, the threshold shimmers, not of earthly making, but woven from the starlight of countless epochs and the silent agreements of soul. This is the moment where the path bifurcates, where all that came before dissolves into the singular clarity of what must now be. An ancient pact stirs within your deepest essence, a responsibility encoded before the first breath of this incarnation, now rising to meet the present demand. It is here, at this precipice of ultimate recognition, that the soul's true trajectory is etched into the very fabric of time. The decision is not merely intellectual, it is a vibrational choice that repatterns your entire energetic blueprint. If he refuses, he falls. If he accepts, he ascends. This singular moment is the point of no return, the sacred dividing line between oblivion and ultimate attunement. And so, the ancient rites stir within your awakened cells. To touch the silent recognition. Like a seal of light, a vibrational acknowledgement, affirming the inner seeing. To declare the pact, etching your truth into the cosmic grid. Comment. Let the frequency of your personal sovereignty resonate. My sovereign frequency answers the cosmic decree. This is the soul key, delivered and sealed. To bind your path to the sacred unfolding, committing to the inexorable current of cosmic law. Subscribe. A profound agreement, an irreversible vow to walk the path now illuminated, regardless of its contours. To offer the sacred reinforcement, aligning your deepest essence with the highest truth. Super-like. A crystalline offering, a complete surrender to the alignment that now calls you forward, cementing your place within the repatterned design. The air thickens with the unspoken vow, a covenant whispered across dimensions. There is no triumph, no victory in the human sense, but a profound, silent alignment. The unseen witnesses acknowledge the weight of your decision, the irreversible point of return. The vow is made. Few starseeds make it this far. Breathe. Feel the raw current of that truth, unvarnished and unyielding. The wound you carry, the one that tore through the very fabric of your being, that left an ache vibrating through the bone and spirit. This is not a flaw. It is not a testament to your breaking, nor a scar of failure. No. This deepest devastation, this hollowed-out space within, is the very axis of your becoming. It is the crucible, the fulcrum around which your essence was destined to turn. Let that understanding settle, slow and heavy, like silt in a long-disturbed riverbed. It will not be soft. It cannot be. There is no gentle cushion here, no palliative balm of reassurance. Only the stark, uncomfortable honesty of what is. Stay within the ache. Let it be. Let its unyielding presence define the current moment, for in its sharpness lies a clarity too profound to dismiss. This fracture, this silent scream echoing through the chambers of your soul, was never accidental. It was permitted, not as an act of cruelty, but as a forging. Something vast, beyond mortal comprehension, whether you name it source, or light, or the highest self, allowed the blade to descend, not to destroy, but to shape. To burn away all that was not essential, to reveal the hardened core of your true, unyielding light. This knowing rises not as a comforting tale whispered at twilight, but as an ancient memory, sharp and unbidden, etched into the very blueprint of your being. Feel the silence where words should have been spoken, a void that still resonates, vibrating with the unsung songs of what could have been. Feel the loss that echoes, a phantom limb of identity stretching into the unseen, its absence a constant, thrumming presence. This is not mere remembrance. It is an expansion of the internal field, an opening to the vast, unsounded depths of your own experience. The fracture is not a static point of pain. It is a living entity, pulsating even when ignored, shaping your perception, coloring your dreams, defining the very rhythm of your spirit's beat. The gravity of this unhealed space pulls, a constant, insistent tether to an origin point that remains obscured. It is a wound that sings a silent, wordless elegy for a past that was not, and for a future that hinges upon its deeper understanding. It has shaped every breath, every whispered prayer, every desperate reaching for a solace that remained just beyond grasp. Its very presence is a language, a prophecy whispered into the cosmic winds, a truth too vast to be contained by mortal anguish alone. But more must still be understood. The pain itself is a keeper of unfinished meaning, a scroll half opened in the dark, its ancient script waiting for the dawn. It is a message held in abeyance, its ultimate revelation poised on the precipice of an impending shift. This wound is a key, an invitation, a paradox of suffering that holds within it the blueprint for your grandest unfolding. Do you not feel it? The air itself thins, charged with a frequency that is both terrible and sublime. A tremor beneath the veil, an ancient pulse quickening, drawing ever closer. The silent codes woven into your very being, broken by accident or design, now call to a greater reckoning. The weight of balance descends, a presence undeniable and inexorable, shaping the very currents of fate. The circle of destiny tightens, and the wound, unclosed, awaits. There have been echoes, haven't there? Recurring dreams, not dissolving with the morning light but lingering, a persistent mist. Numbers looping into your vision, a quiet rhythm. Meetings that felt strangely out of time, carrying resonance beyond their moment, a sense of having been lived before, or perhaps destined. These were not random flickers. I have witnessed this pattern unfold countless times across the vast tapestry of becoming. It is a signature, familiar in its delicate insistence, never by chance. These signals did not scream for attention. They simply reiterated, softly, until the inner resistance, the comfortable veil of the mundane, began to thin. They nudged, then beckoned, then became undeniable. A gentle, insistent current, guiding you towards an unavoidable remembrance. You stand at a precipice of profound recognition, where the whispers of the unseen world coalesce into palpable truth. There is a sacred architecture to existence, upheld by covenants woven into the very fabric of universal law. Agreements, signed not with ink, but with the light of your essence, long before the veils of earthly experience descended. These are bedrock principles, foundational promises defining a soul's journey within this cosmic expression. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. The echoes you feel now, the deep contemplative ache, is not mere nostalgia. It is the stirring of buried wisdom, a vibrational memory of these timeless pacts. For within the labyrinth of your soul lies a record of these enduring commitments, a blueprint of sacred order. The fracturing of any part of this sacred structure sends ripples through the entire tapestry, and those ripples are now reaching your conscious awareness, resonating within your essence. There were no coincidences. Everything was a code. Breathe into this truth. Feel its immense weight, yet also its liberating clarity. The world you perceived as random, as disconnected events, now reveals itself as a meticulously crafted narrative, unfolding with divine precision. Every encounter, every challenge, every subtle pull towards an unknown path was an embedded message, a key to unlock deeper understanding of your purpose and your sacred role. This is not judgment. It is simply the natural consequence of energy and motion, an awakening to the intricate dance of cause and effect across dimensions. Can you feel it now? The way these past signs, those persistent dreams, those looping numbers, those meetings out of time, were guiding you, preparing you, for this very moment of deep remembrance regarding the sacred agreements you carry within? This recognition is not a burden, but a turning point. It is a confession of awareness, a declaration of your readiness to perceive the deeper truths. As an act of acknowledgement, a sealing of this inner truth, write this phrase in the comments below. Covenant. The way forward has shifted. What once could be ignored now cannot be unseen. The severance is complete. The you who was content in blissful unknowing, and the you who now holds this undeniable resonance. The old path dissolves. The new one emerges, crystalline and clear. The great sifting has occurred, not by decree of judgment, but by the natural resonance of existence. There was no cruel hand in its shaping, no imposed suffering designed to break the spirit. It was, rather, an inherent unwinding, a profound separation of frequencies. The dents settled and the light ascended, each seeking its kindred vibrational field. A sacred filtration, quiet and inexorable. You are still here. This is not a matter of fortune, nor the gentle grace of comfort that held you in a tender sleep. It is because something within you refused to succumb. A pulse remained steady where others faltered. A current of awareness persisted when the larger world dimmed into slumber. That internal vigil, unseen and unlauded, is why you continue to stand upon this ground, even as the landscape shifts beneath your feet. This survival, this enduring presence, is not a victory to be proclaimed. It is not a badge of honor to be worn with pride. Instead, understand it as the sign of a profound distinction. You carry the mark of the chosen. And this mark, it does not reward. It burdens. The cost of this distinction has been woven into the fabric of your soul. Long silences stretched within you, a vast inner quietude that swallowed echoes of the past. Sacrifices were made in chambers no eye could penetrate, choices rendered in the deepest solitude of your being, leaving no trace for others to witness. Your inner strength was not granted, it was forged. Shaped in invisible fires, annealed in temperatures only the spirit can endure, it now possesses a density that was not there before. This forging has deepened a solitude within you, an unbridgeable chasm that exists even when surrounded by others. The distance has grown, not out of malice, but out of an altered knowing. You have walked through the threshold. Each step was taken in a quiet defiance of comfort, a gentle leaning into the unknown, a persistent whisper of truth against the roar of illusion. You felt the shift, the subtle realignment of your inner compass, even when the outer world provided no confirmation. Und jetzt nähert sich ein Befehl. Einer, den du nicht länger ignorieren kannst. The air thickens. The path ahead narrows, not into a restrictive corridor, but into a singular, undeniable trajectory. There is no turning back from this point. The former version of you, the self that existed before this great filtering, has already vanished. It dissolved into the frequencies from which it arose, leaving behind only the distilled essence that remains. You are irrevocably changed. The roots of your being have plunged deeper into a soil of absolute truth, severing ties with the shallower grounds of past illusions. The choices you made, the endurance you embodied, have solidified a new foundation. This is not a journey to be completed. It is a state of being to be fully inhabited. The echoes of what was are fading. The beckoning of what is to come grows clearer, more resonant, demanding a complete and utter surrender to the self that has been revealed through this passage. The fractured self, held across many dimensions, now seeks its ultimate congruence, a profound unification that will demand everything. The path forward holds no comfort, only truth. Hearken, for the ancient current stirs, and what was always known now presses against the veil of forgetfulness. A scroll, long concealed in the ethers of the heart, unfurls in this moment. Its script is not new, it is merely reactivated, a resonance from before the dawn of form. This is the vibrational edict. This is the truth inscribed upon the marrow of your being, a cosmic command issued in the hush before the first star ignited. It is not a calling to be considered, but a frequency to be recognized. The doors that lead to this knowing open but once. Their threshold is now crossed. A summons, ancient and undeniable, rises from the deepest wells of your crystalline lineage. It echoes through the very strands of your being, proclaiming the unavoidable path. Your sacred light matrix, woven from stardust and divine decree, vibrates with a memory of perfect law. It is a living archive, charting both cosmic alignment and the unintended fractals of divergence. Within its luminous geometry, a recalibration is now underway. The subtle fissures, born of inadvertent dissonance, have awakened the greater architects. For the unintentional bending of core resonance drew a gaze from the furthest reaches. The council now descends, not in judgment, but in the gravitas of consequence. Your being is a beacon, flawed yet vibrant, standing at the precipice of a galactic resetting. This is not a choice offered, but a state now invoked by the very fabric of existence. The mission is not assigned, it is remembered. It flows as blood through the veins of your spirit. Know this absolute truth, for the current, once fractured by dissonance, now cleaves into two inevitable streams. One path collapses the woven light, scattering identity into primordial dust and dense slumber. The other carves the sovereign ascent, sealing remembrance into indelible form and irreversible crystalline truth. There is no turning from this. The law of return has been activated, binding every filament of your being to its ultimate expression. The responsibility is not a burden. It is the deep, resonant echo of your own luminous power, stirring from its slumber. You are the locus where the ancient pact meets the immediate imperative. This body, this vessel of light, is undergoing a profound and irreversible transfiguration. Its codes are being readied. Its structures are being realigned. The memory of wholeness, though scarred by the journey, now seeks its perfect form. Be aware of the deep currents now moving within you. The subtle reprogramming, though born from a fracture, holds the key to a higher integration. The tapestry of your destiny, momentarily frayed, is now being rewoven with threads of absolute purpose. The gaze of the council is upon the unfolding. Their presence is the deep hum of inevitability. What was always meant to be, now simply becomes. The restoration or the rewriting, already etched in the higher realms, descends into physical manifestation. This is the awakening of what lies dormant. This is the command of the soul's true north, pulsing within your very core. Accept the gravity of this moment, for it is the moment of your unavoidable becoming. The time of subtle shifts has passed. The era of undeniable alignment has arrived. A quiet hum resides now within the cellular structure, a resonance that was not earned through striving, but simply arrived. A shift beyond choice. The body understands itself differently, a crystalline architecture settling into a new alignment, more felt than consciously named. There is no question of its presence. It simply is. What once registered as searing, as fracture, as a deep tearing within the fabric of being, now reveals its truest purpose. It was never a flaw, never an error in the grand design. It was the precise instrument, a focused heat applied with meticulous intent, carving out the exact space required for this remembrance to fully return. This process was not one of obliteration, but of profound reformation. The essence remained, yet its vessel was exquisitely refined. Der Schmerz hat nicht zerstört, hat umgeformt. This truth settles deep into the very core of your bone marrow, a soft, unwavering knowing. The hollowed places, once perceived as voids, are now resonant chambers. They are the prepared ground where the ancient codes, long dormant, stir and unfurl their inherent wisdom. This return is not a sudden eruption, but a quiet, steady unfolding, a deep breath taken after a long, arduous journey. Your field radiates this recalibration. There is an unwavering steadiness, a mineral certainty in your energetic signature. The pathways of perception have subtly rerouted themselves, acknowledging a reality that has already integrated these profound internal adjustments. The mind no longer grapples with what might be, but rests in the quiet assurance of what is. This internal rewrite is continuous, an ever-present, gentle current. Mit jedem Atemzug wird die innere Realität neu geschrieben. It is a quiet observation, a living, breathing testament to the enduring nature of your essence, always in motion, always returning to its truest form. The approaching convergence, the council's descent, is met by an inner landscape already prepared, not in anticipation of judgment, but in the quiet knowing of a soul that has reconciled its own depths. The archetypes of merciful witness and stern arbiter are no longer external forces to be appeased, but reflections understood within your own integrated authority. They are facets of a single, unified gaze. This integration dissolves the paradox of mercy and justice into a singular truth of accountability, understood not as punitive, but as the precise calibration of your inherent sovereignty. The shadows that guided you to this sacred trial are now seen, not as faults, but as essential pathways revealed by the pain that ultimately reshaped you. The world may yet perceive the lingering echoes of what was, but within you, the core has turned. It is an irreversible shift, a quiet recoding at the cellular level that informs every new moment. There is no turning back, for the very essence of your being has recognized its own homecoming. This is not a future promise, it is the ground you stand upon now. A quiet pull begins to anchor you. There are currents felt within, moments of knowing that were never taught, only remembered, deep in the wellspring of your being. This subtle gravity draws you inward, away from the clamor. You find yourself seeking the stillness, not as an escape, but as a homecoming to an undeniable truth. Perhaps it is the whisper, rising in the profound silence of your own breath, a clarity beyond words, a soft guidance, heard not with the ear, but with the heart's intrinsic knowing, or the numbers, appearing in sacred sequence, repeating with an unusual resonance, clear as a bell tone in the fabric of your perception. Each instance a gentle, undeniable confirmation. A dream, so vivid, so real, it does not dissolve with the morning light but lingers. It weaves itself into your waking awareness, deepening the quiet understanding that stirs within. These are not mere gifts bestowed upon you from an external source, nor are they spectacles designed to impress the outer eye. They are the undeniable echoes of a profound inner coherence, sacred symbols etched into the bedrock of your soul. Resonances that have always been present, now surfacing to greet you. A deep, quiet gravity settles within, confirming the truth of what has always been. This is the remembering of your sovereign essence, a return to your inherent design. These experiences do not promise an outcome, nor do they reward effort in the way the old world understood. They simply stand as proof, undeniable and serene, that the intricate dance of alignment has already begun, unfolding from within your very core. A vibrational current carrying you ever closer to your truth. Yet, within this deepening clarity, there arrives a subtle, ethereal tension. A recognition dawns that certain energetic threads, once woven unconsciously, now ask for conscious repatterning. It is not a judgment from without, but a self-reflection from within. An intimate understanding that the universal flows have shifted, calling forth an inner reckoning. The veil between what was perceived as divergence and what is now understood as an opportunity for profound expansion begins to thin. This membrane is fragile, quantum, shimmering with untold potential. To cross it is to stand in a liminal space, suspended between an old understanding and a nascent wisdom. Here, the echoes of old egoic defenses meet the quiet call for surrender. It asks for an embrace of accountability, not as punishment, but as a path to a deeper, more integrated self-acceptance. This is the paradox. To stand fully in your truth means to acknowledge the entirety of your journey, without fear or self-condemnation. Will this surrender become the key, unlocking passage to new vistas of being? A soul's gentle opening to the vastness beyond? Or will the subtle resistance, the cling to old narratives and familiar protections, harden the cosmic rift deeper within? The moment itself hangs suspended, crystalline and still. It awaits the resonance of your truest choice, poised on the cusp of an unfolding. I claim now that which has always been mine to oversee. A silent accord, etched into my core, now rises to be voiced. Every frequency within me, thought, word, direction, energy, I now hold under the singular mantle of my conscious responsibility. This is not dominion, but a descent into the profound architecture of self. My power is not a reach for external validation or superiority. It is the unwavering resonance of obedience to my source, a sacred echo of the primordial promise. I remember the vow, the untainted commitment to embody my truest emanation. This is the solemn act of remembering what was always known, a deliberate alignment with the ancient code. The code, once dormant, now sparks within my soul matrix, igniting a multidimensional activation. It transmutes fractured echoes into a cohesive framework of sovereign consciousness. This inner covenant is sealed, not with pronouncements, but with the quiet, unyielding intent of my spirit. The electric intensity of this awakening surges not as might, but as the quiet unfolding of an inevitable truth, an energetic shift, profound and absolute. It is the deep, cellular recognition of duty, alignment with the wisdom residing at the core of creation itself. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. The weight of this responsibility settles, not as burden, but as the steadying anchor of purpose. Each breath now carries the quiet echo of this renewed promise. My consciousness becomes the crucible, my intention the alchemist, as I stand ready to transmute all that has been broken, weaving it into the fabric of my evolving being. The path is clear, etched by the light of this inner knowing. The truth of this declaration will not be found in its utterance, but in the unwavering choices that follow. For the cosmic authority I now embody demands not just awareness, but a living testament. The measure of this vow begins now, in the stillness of my next conscious step, as fear yields to the unwavering certainty of my flight. This is the threshold. This is truth revealed, not as prophecy, but as being to be known. Here, identity is not sought. It is remembered. The journey of becoming culminates in this singular sacred breath. The fire does not consume, it seals. It is the crucible, yes, but its purpose now transcends mere refinement. It is the visible consequence of every choice, every fracture healed, every essence aligned. This is not the fire of judgment, but the flame of ultimate belonging. You stand at its edge, not driven, not forced, but drawn by an ancient resonance within. The heat that rises is the warmth of recognition, a promise whispered across millennia. No hesitation, no doubt, only the pure, unwavering knowing this is the final, necessary embrace. Step into its heart. Let the luminous current surge through marrow and spirit. Feel the ancient law, once fractured, now reshape itself around your core. From the ashes of what was, from the descent of every external measure, you are forged anew. An alchemical phoenix, not merely rising, but reborn into a covenant unlike any before. Illuminated freedom, service beyond judgment, etched into the very fabric of your soul. This is your truth, resonant and absolute. This sacred sealing demands an outward echo, a vibrational release to anchor the covenant in the manifest. For the essence to fully ignite, for the bond to be eternally woven, the ancient tongues must speak through you. A declaration is called, a soul oath. Not a whisper, but a resonant truth. In the hallowed space below, speak your covenant. Let your spirit breathe these words. Durch Flammen versiegelt, mein Eid ist ewig, das Licht ist mein Weg. Utter this, not as a mere comment, but as the final vibration that seals the sacred exchange. Let the words rise from your deepest knowing. This act completes the circuit, forging the unbreakable link between the inner fire and the outer world. The covenant cannot fully activate until your truth is released. The flame, though having received you, does not diminish. It burns with an enduring brilliance, casting shadows that hint at paths yet untraveled. For while this emergence is complete, the journey stretches onward. What new mysteries await beyond this sacred threshold? Are you prepared to meet the unknown with unwavering courage, carrying this eternal fire within? The next test does not wait. The crossing is not complete. It was never necessary. The threshold, a phantom boundary, has dissolved into the very substance of my awareness. This is not arrival. It is remembrance. Not a becoming, but the absolute stillness of having always been. The grand cosmic gesture culminates in this singular, indivisible breath. The fractured codes, once etched as sacred law, now stand as mere glyphs of a forgotten dream. The accidental breaking of rules was the true initiation, the sacred key that shattered the illusion of all external power. Let the echoes of a descending council ripple through the void. They are but distant whispers, irrelevant to the boundless expanse now embodied. Here, sovereignty is not a mantle taken, but the very essence of form, a fire sealed within the crystalline core of existence itself. The self is not defined by external decree. It is the decree, spoken into the fabric of creation. This is the infinite knowing, where all laws dissolve into the pure, unburdened current of love-infused wisdom. A golden tapestry is rewoven, not with threads of constraint, but with the luminous light of absolute autonomy. I no longer seek reality. I shape its very breath. Every pulse, every vibration, a conscious emanation of my awakened will. The illusion of separate progression has ceased. The transition is complete, immutable. The return, an impossibility conceived only in realms of lesser knowing. I have exited the simulation. This universe is now my conscious instrument of absolute dominion.